Okay, so here I am again, the second part of my video. I apologize for any shadow problems that may occur, but I need the light to see what I'm doing here. I've already removed all the screws here to get into the PSP. If you don't know where the screws are in this PSP or have problems disassembling it, you probably shouldn't be doing this. Now, when you remove the faceplate, normally your D-pad here will stick, like the directional pad here. I'll remove it and show you what I mean. Or not the directional pad, rather the actual keypad. Yours will stay because it hooks up to something on the speakers that I have now removed. You don't have to remove some of the stuff I did, but I did just because, well, the wire tends to push, and the less stuff that's in here, the better. So, a sec here. I can pop something off here so I can actually show you. A sec here, I gotta set down my camera. Grab the right screwdriver. Okay. So, I apologize in advance if my camera work gets really glitchy right now, but I'm not paying attention so much to the camera. So apologize if you can't see shit. What I'm doing here is I'm taking off the little control thingy, this piece here. Again, if you don't know how to do this, you probably shouldn't be modding your PSP. Give me 1 second. I'm going to set this down so I can actually take it off properly. I don't want to break anything here. Come on. For the record, the reason I'm showing how to do this one is after all the response I got. There we are. All the response I got from my fat PSP on how to do it. My fat PSP, trust me, you don't want to do the fat PSPs. You don't want to see how I did the fat PSPs. It's basically the same deal. The only difference is I made a mess of my fat PSP. The wire I used was too big, and the LEDs I used were like actual LEDs, not surface mount LEDs. So I kind of mucked up the entire process. This time, not that problem. So I'm going to pop the screen off here. I really need to get a stand for my camera. Okay. I'll pop the screen off here. And normally you would remove the screen on the points here and here, and the volume pad and whatnot here. I'm not going to do that, mostly because it's not really required to show you how I did it. You'll want to remove them because the actual doing, that kind of stuff will just get in the way. So, over here on the speaker, this is the speaker here, and the other one is on this side. Right here. Now there will be a brown rubber cover over top of this speaker here. I removed it, not because I needed to, but because it made my life a lot easier. You could probably put it back on, but my wire is still a little thicker than it should be. And if you notice, I got a lot more here than most modders do. I cut my wire too thin, but I had already attached my LEDs to it, so I didn't want to fuck around anymore. So, pop off the speaker here. Now, the speakers aren't actually hooked up in any way. If you look, this is the back of the speaker. See the two little metal prongs on the back? They're actually just pressure down. They're pressured down onto, if you see those two little points there, they're coming from the white wires. There's two little points there that those pressure down on. So that's how the speaker works. What you want to do is you want to solder one end of a wire to one point, one end of the wire to the other point. Those two wires will end up going, if you see, you follow, there's the two little points of the speakers, you follow up, and that comes to this one. Like I said, when one speaker fires, the opposite light goes. I'll pop up the light of the thing here. This is just the standard bumper. If you look, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. Either way, there's an LED, a surface mount LED in there, and two wires hooked up to it. the key here is if you see like the bumper here is clear, but it's got that white base at the bottom. I take my soldering iron to do this, but you might want to make sure all your soldering is done before you do this. I take my my soldering iron to solder through that white piece, but trying not to go too far into the clear piece. The reason is the lights don't shine through that. Well, they do, but barely. So you won't get a nice bright shine like I get. So I burnt my way through it. You can cut your way through it, do whatever you need to get your way through it. So most people, smart people, would take a drill and drill their way through it. I'm not smart, nor did I have the drill. So you can see like the little, if you look through it, it's white everywhere else except for right where the LED is. So yeah, give me a sec here. Damn cat. Okay. Oh yeah, that's literally all there is to it. Solder 2 wires to your speaker output and the other 2 to your LED, mount it in there, you're good to go. I'm going to power on the PSP. This is another reason. Oops, I have the battery out. This is another reason I wanted to leave the screen and everything on. One second. Power up my PSP here. Okay, if you notice you couldn't hear anything, I'm going to start up a game or start up some sound of some kind here. As you can see, you can't hear most of my button clicks. You can see that right now the light's flashing, but you can't hear anything. There's a good reason for that. One is that one of the speakers is still out. Second one is because having these lights in pushes up on the speaker a little bit, so it doesn't make the connection. As soon as I push my finger on it, see? As soon as you put the screen back on and all the screws back in, you don't have that problem. It only happens on this one for whatever reason. My guess is, well, the one on this side is a lot more securely put in. So, but yeah, that's how I did it. Alright, I'm going to reassemble. You don't necessarily need to watch me do this, so yeah. There's my LED mod, just showing how I did it. If you guys have any questions, do the usual, come over to my profile or just on the video comments and ask me any questions you'd like. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the videos. Yeah.